Good morning and welcome to my first ever day in the life vlog. This is not going to be as polished and refined as my regular videos, but I'm just sharing what it's really like in my life and just sharing more of my personality with you. So what happens every day for me after the grooming routine is I'll grab my journal, and I always use these green bound A4 journals. I'm probably on my 6th one right now, and today it's a new one, so it's nice to crack this one open and write today's date on the top of this, which is July 14th. Something interesting to note or important for me is that my phone has been off since 9 o'clock last night, and it's going to remain off at least for a while. That's one of my non-negotiables, to protect my mental energy and to protect my peace and to make sure that I can do the most important things for the day without being disturbed. And today I have a very clear task ahead of me. It's 7:30 now. I'm just going to sit down and do a block of deep work for about 4 hours, take a quick break here and there to make a coffee, make a protein shake. But I am launching a 12-week journey for the Gentleman's Institution, and it's going to be a 12-week program where every single week we focus on a different element of being a modern gentleman. So I've got to create the landing page for that. I've got to create the copy so that people really understand exactly who should sign up, who it's for, and what they're going to get out of the experience. So that is my A1 priority for the week, really. I've got a whiteboard over here, and I have 5 core business goals. That is number 1. So getting this done today is the absolute number 1 priority. I should be able to make at least a very good start, if not finish it, by probably 12 o'clock. And then it's a beautiful day today in Chicago. We have hot sunny weather, about 86 degrees. So rather than work this afternoon, I'm gonna go outside, take my book, do some reading, maybe smoke a cigar, and then I'll come back and work in the evening instead after I've been to the gym. So I'll take you with me to the gym, show you my workout, show you how I spend my leisure time, show you how I relax in the evening, but most importantly, let's go and get some work done. So for those of you that are coffee fans, as you will have seen, Cafe Bustelo is what I like in the morning. This stuff has kind of a cult following, and everybody that comes over to my place always compliments the coffee. And then in the evening, or for the afternoons, I have this decaf from Blue Bottle coffee shop. There's one right by where I live, and this is a really nice whole bean coffee that they grind in the store. It's got creme brulee, vanilla, key lime on the tasting notes. I don't really taste any of those, to be honest, but it's a nice cup of coffee. 10:15 now, time for a quick break to make a protein shake. On the days when I'm really busy working, I don't want to stop and cook breakfast necessarily, so I'll whip this protein shake up. And let me show you what I put in this. This is pretty much what I have every day lately, and I think it's really good. Start off with just a few cubes of ice, and then the main reason I use almond milk is just because it doesn't go bad as quickly as regular milk, and I don't use very much of it. Just a splash of that. Some mornings I'll add cottage cheese for some extra protein. This morning I'm going to have some Greek yogurt instead. Creatine, I am in a muscle building and fat loss phase at the moment, so this supplement really helps out with that. Tablespoon of peanut butter. Good fats. I'll just heap this up. You might be wondering why I haven't really done a kind of get ready with me so far. Today it's, my wardrobe is looking a bit thin. It's laundry day and I've got a load of clothes in the tailor right now. So my wardrobe is pretty thin and I'm gonna be heading to the gym later this afternoon. So I just threw this sweater over the top of my gym clothes and it's nice and comfortable for a morning of focused work. Some cinnamon, extra flavor, and then I'm going to throw in just 2 spoons of this lovely zero-fat Greek yogurt. I like the flavor of this a lot more with the cottage cheese, but it's pretty good either way. And I think what I'm gonna do is, because I've been working for 3 hours pretty solidly, I'm just gonna hop downstairs to the patio, get some sunlight in my eyes for 5 minutes, and then I'll get back up to finish drinking this and carry on building this website. I'm begrudgingly turning my phone on for the first time of the day, and the only reason I'm doing it is because I have to use my phone to open the door to get back in my apartment building, which is kind of annoying, but that's the world we live in. So 10:30, and I know some of you will think, well, it's nice and easy for you to say, James, you don't have children, you're not a doctor, you don't have to answer to people. That's completely true, and for those people, I'm not saying that you can, wow, that's too bright. I'm not saying that you can just turn your phone off and ignore the world. But most guys who are addicted to their phones are my age or younger, have fewer responsibilities or the same responsibilities that I do, and just use the phone for quick dopamine hits and just as a kind of mindless addiction. So if you do fall in that category, just keep it off as much of the day as you can. This is what I eat for lunch. Most days, this is just my diet plan that's really helping me get in, honestly, the best shape that I've been in my life at the moment. Pretty basic, just some jasmine rice, some shredded chicken breast, spinach, and then just some smashed avocado and sriracha for flavoring. So what I'm gonna go and do is eat this and then head to the pool and do some reading outside. When I eat my food, typically I'll watch a YouTube video on the TV, and just while I eat this, I want to tell you about the book that I will be reading today. This book is called Lean Marketing, and I'm really using this to inform the marketing that I'll be doing for Samuel & Sons, my shaving brand. The main takeaways I've got from this at the moment are that the marketing should be so good that people would pay to consume it just in its own right. The marketing shouldn't feel like a pushed sales message. It shouldn't feel urgent or desperate. It should just be beautiful. And especially with a brand like Samuel & Sons, where I'm selling something that it's not just a commodity, it really aids you in your life. And I think it has a mental impact. I think it not only has a physical impact, but an emotional impact as well. It's very important to me that the marketing will communicate that, and the marketing will just be enjoyable and beautiful to watch in its own right. So really good book for anybody that's starting a business, starting a personal brand, or already has one, and they are looking to do marketing a little bit differently from the typical cliches that you've seen out there. And I've definitely fallen victim to those as well. And I'm not an experienced marketer. You know, I'm kind of a guerrilla, I suppose. I'm figuring things out for myself and just learning on the job. Books like this really, really help. Okay, I'll be honest with you, I didn't really do a whole lot of reading there, lots of sunbathing, but not so much soaking up knowledge. And I'm just about to do a one-to-one with one of the members of the Gentleman's Institution. If you would like to go on this journey, not only with other men by your side, but also with my personal support, that's something that I offer. And by the time this video comes out, the enrollment should be open for the Gentleman's Institution for a new 12-week program. So you can go and check that out using the link in the description. I just throw this shirt on for a call. It doesn't matter if it's an existing client, a new client, a potential client, or anybody that I'm speaking with really. On a video call, they always deserve to see you presenting well and dressing with respect. So even on a more casual day like today, where I'm lounging around in the sun and just working from home, always have a shirt at the ready to throw on for a video call. So let's jump on and see how this client is doing. It's our first one-to-one together since he came on board, so I'm really excited to see how I can help him and to identify some very clear goals that I can help move him toward. I'm just about to ship out a bunch of tie orders. So, as you may have seen, there is the official Gent Z tie, and I ship all of these out myself. And the first step to doing that is printing off the shipping labels. Ties are packed, going to run those down to the post box now and then get ready to go for the gym. And today I am doing chest, shoulders and triceps. It's really quiet in my apartment building gym. I was thinking of going over to Soho House, but they hate people filming in there and it would last about 30 seconds before I get told off. I always get told off in that place. Anyway, so I'll just take you to the apartment gym. Not as much equipment in there, but I think they've got everything I need to get a really good workout down, because I do need to get a good workout in today. Last week I just wasn't feeling my best. I didn't skip any days, but no PRs, 40-minute workouts. Today is not going to be like that.
She does enough to say she does.
Every time I post a video saying I'm in Chicago or talking about living in Chicago, people always go, oh, where are all the homeless people and gunfights? And most of those people have actually never been to Chicago, because if they had, they'd realize that it's actually quite nice. The main focus of this workout was the chest, starting off with this chest press machine. Not the best machine in this gym. I prefer it when they have the plates that you can add either side, but we got it done, and I was just waiting really for the bench press to become available. Now, speaking of the bench press, this is an exercise that I've been having some issues with, struggling to make breakthroughs, and I feel like there is something off with my technique. But rather than pay for a personal trainer, I thought I would just allow the YouTube comments to tell me everything that I'm doing wrong. So, in all seriousness, if you actually do have any tips for how I can improve my bench press, I would love to hear them. I do have this rule when I'm in the gym of no phone, normally no music as well, although in this gym they do play the most utter dross commercial shite pop music you've ever heard. But one of the benefits of not bringing your headphones to the gym is that you actually talk to people and make friends. Going easy on you today or putting you through it?
Tough day, for sure. But I'm pretty tired, so.
Yeah. How was your weekend?
It was good, but I had a day trip to New York Thursday.
Day trip to
So
New York?
Didn't get much sleep.
That's a long day trip.
Yeah. And Friday Friday, Saturday, I was up in Wisconsin playing golf. So we were drinking Friday night. And then I was out Saturday night drinking.
The drink and the no sleep is a killer. That combination.
I'm like pretty bad.
Yeah.
I can't really do that. Yeah, so
I'm 27 and I can't do that.
yeah.
Moving on now to the shoulder press. I'm using the machine here just to keep everything slow and controlled. Really focusing on straining the muscle and pushing myself to failure. I think for a long time I didn't used to use enough intensity in my workouts, but as you'll see now, I really do go to failure and also crack out some partial reps just to make sure that I've fully exhausted the muscle as much as I can. There we go. And after doing some shoulders, it was time for the triceps. I'm just writing down the weights that I've done in my notebook there. I did the tricep overhead extension first with the rope. This is one of my favorite exercises for the tricep. Going pretty heavy here, really trying to get a pump, and then finishing off with the push downs. I like the V-bar more than the rope for push downs, and I did some drop sets here, really ending up at quite a light weight, but to get a good pump on and to really push myself to the limit, and then we were done. Quick physique check. Sorry to be a douchebag, but it's important for me to check on my progress. Overall, some things I'm happy with, some things I'm not. I'm happy with the upper ab development. I'm happy with the, I think that's the delts, really, you see above the tricep. Triceps looking good as well. Would definitely like to fill out the chest more, have more defined lower abs, and also more of a V-taper of the upper back as well. Well, that was a really great workout, and I could totally devour a meal right now. But instead, I'm going to use the positive momentum, the kind of endorphins that I have going right now, to do a bit of deep work, final bit of focused deep work for the day. It's about 5 o'clock. If you throw the Ralph Lauren sweater over your wife beater, it's more elegant. Anyway. So I've got about an hour of work left to do for the day. Then I'm going to go and have a lovely Cohiba cigar, a decaf coffee, and either listen to an audiobook or watch a bit of a movie. But first, 1 hour of focused work. I'm going to get some background jazz going, and let's do this. You know, in the future, I may be somewhere else. I may be with somebody, with a friend, lover, but there's no way I would rather end my day than with a cigar and watching the sunset. The rather bold sunset tonight, making me wish I brought my sunglasses up here. Tonight, I'm smoking this Cohiba Black. This is one of my favorite cigars. I've had it a couple of times before, but something I'm trying to do as I continue my journey into the tobacconist world is just pull up the tasting notes of this cigar, and then as I enjoy it with my coffee, notice which of those tasting notes I can pick up. It's not the greatest lighting technique you've ever seen, but it's quite windy up here, as you can probably see, so really just got to get the job done with this torch however I can. Alright. Today's been a good day overall. My main objective was to create this website. I'm so happy with how it's looking. I've struggled before, I think, to present some of the things that I do outside of YouTube in a way that fits the aesthetic of my brand. And I'm just talking about websites here. I'm not talking about the merchandise really. But before, when I've presented the program that I offer and the way that I help men, I don't feel like I've adequately communicated it. And I don't think it's I don't think the appearance of the websites that I've used has previously communicated the level of integrity with which I actually serve the men that come to me for help and the groups that I organize, whereas I feel like this one finally does, and the copy and the words chosen do as well. You know, in the past, I'll be candid with you, I've taken advice from people that maybe I shouldn't have taken advice from, because they seem to be doing things better than me, more successfully than me. But ultimately it wasn't my brand, it wasn't appropriate, and I actually would have been more successful if I had stuck to my instincts and listened to my gut and my heart on the way that I communicated what I would have on offer. So that's what I've done this time. Taking the business knowledge that I've learned, everything that I've learned about actually organizing groups and serving men, and then presenting it in a more authentic way. So I'm really excited for you guys to see that. So I'm feeling satisfied, definitely, at the end of the day. You never want to smoke a cigar at the end of a day where you feel like you haven't given it your all. Whereas today it does feel well earned, especially if you're smoking a Cohiba. One thing I've come to realize about having a personal brand, doing social media for a living, is it's running a company, but you have to just be a jack of all trades. You're meant to be the master of getting people's attention, creating an audience. I don't really feel like I'm a master of getting people's attention, at least not in the traditional sense. I've never thought about how do I stop people scrolling, how do I get people to click on this video. It's always just been a case of let's make something that I enjoy, something that I would want to watch, and I think people will feel the same. But you have to play all these different roles. You have to be a marketing person, you have to be a finance person, you have to be your own agent, you have to be a script writer, a presenter, an editor, and nobody's there to help you with all of that. One thing that's actually really benefited me lately, and if you're watching, Dad, I appreciate this. He and I will just get together once a week for an hour, and I'll just give him an overview of everything that I'm doing, and he'll give me his feedback and his guidance. And he's not into social media. He doesn't use Instagram, TikTok. I think he only uses YouTube to watch my videos and to watch golf videos. But just having that kind of accountability from somebody else and feeling like I have a kind of steering committee or, you know, a C-suite, it's been really, really helpful. So what I would learn from that is, no matter what you're doing, don't be afraid to communicate it with other people. Even if what they do in their area of expertise isn't the same, that process of having to communicate and explain exactly what you have done and justify what you've done, I find that really powerful. And that's the kind of, you know, accountability that we do in our group as well. When I started doing groups like this, I didn't know that accountability would be the main thing. But it turns out that actually, you know, having the check-ins, whether it's with me or with another man in the program, one-to-one, within the group calls, with the challenges that we do, that accountability has just been completely life-changing. Not only for the men in the program, but for myself, honestly, as well. I feel like I've grown so much since I've started doing these. It's always a good question of whether to have the cigar before dinner or after dinner. Before dinner, it's good because then you're really hungry and you're ready to eat. But you can't be too hungry because then you might feel kind of queasy if you smoke a cigar. And if you're new to cigars, if you're a beginner, I would highly recommend eating before. If you can't eat, have a Coke, have something with sugar in it. But of course, an after dinner cigar is really nice because you're full, you've got the lined stomach, and then you can really just focus on the flavors and relaxing with the cigar. But I find that they make me hungry and then I want to eat again. So a pre-dinner cigar is nice, and that's exactly what I'm doing tonight. And I know that after this I'm going to be very ready for my meal, which is going to be nothing fancy, just something nutritious, some jasmine rice again, some salmon which I've already cooked, it's already prepared, some broccoli, and splash of olive oil, maybe some nice sauce, and that's it. I'm really keeping it nice and simple with the diet at the moment, and it's definitely working. So I'm proud of myself, to be honest with you. I'm really happy with how it's going. What I'm going to do tonight while I smoke this, once I'm done rambling to you guys, is I'm listening to this audiobook at the moment, and it's by Billy O'Reilly. It's called Confronting the Presidents. It gives a great overview of every single US president. What I like about this book is, well, firstly, because I grew up in England, I don't really have very good knowledge of the US presidents. It's not something that we learned about in school in the same way that an American would have done. But what I like about this book is it's not just this kind of laborious biography of every president. He gives a snapshot. He talks about pivotal moments. He talks about their habits. He talks about their personal lives. He talks about their strengths and weaknesses. So it's a lot more interesting and engaging than a lot of traditional history books out there. So if you are looking to learn more about the US presidents, highly recommend that one, Confronting the Presidents. Well, that was an extremely long cigar. It took about 2 hours to get through that thing. Just had a quick dinner. And now I've got a few shirts to iron, and while I do that, I'm actually watching Batman Begins for the first time ever. Pretty stylish movie, obviously Christian Bale, and in some ways, he definitely reminds me of the character that he plays in American Psycho, Patrick Bateman. I'm just watching that scene where he walks into the restaurant with the two women on each arm, and they start dancing or frolicking around in the swimming pool. So I'll just iron these few shirts now, and then probably take a quick shower and get ready for bed and have an early night. It's been a great day. It's been very productive. I'm really happy with everything that I've achieved today, and just my overall mindset and mood has been really nice. So I'm looking to get an early night, get a good 8 hours of sleep, and then get back to it tomorrow. I hope that this vlog has shown you what the day-to-day looks like for me. Maybe sometimes in my videos you see a polished veneer or polished product, I suppose, that's the result of scripting and coordination and editing, whereas this is more just the reality of day-to-day, the life of a young man in a big city, working hard to build something meaningful. And it's not always the most glamorous, it's not always the most aesthetic, but it is real, and I'm excited to share more of that, and I hope that you will let me know in the comments how you felt about this video and if you would like to see more of this style. Today's been kind of a boring day in a sense. It's just been very simple, very healthy, very methodical. But there's been time for relaxation, there's been time for preparation and reflection. And something I'm doing lately in the evenings is I just take the Bible and read one chapter before going to sleep. Religion is not something that's been a part of my life for a very long time, but it's something that I'm recently dipping my toes into and exploring without expectation and without judgment. So, one chapter, sometimes a prayer, not a prayer that I read or a prayer that I recite, simply a prayer that just comes from my heart and ends the day or opens the day with something that's a true expression of my wishes and my gratitude and my hopes and the love that I have for people, for things, maybe for a higher power. But thank you so much for watching today's video. Thank you for sharing this day with me. I'll see you in the next one.